Hey guys, I'm back, and welcome to my humble room here in Nice. I really hope you guys like the two very beautiful paintings in the background, because if you like it, I'll be really happy, because it's made by me, actually. So, after my last video that I posted on Instagram, I received quite some good feedbacks. So this kind of motivated me to, make more videos about my life and some of the things I'm interested in my life, and as well as my opinions on certain things. So yeah, I think I will be publishing more and more videos and maybe become a, I don't know, professional YouTuber or something. But well, anyway, so today what I want to talk about is actually starting a romance in a new city. And what I want to focus on is actually the difference between guys and girls. So I know this is actually kind of like a very hard topic, because like what I'm talking here is the difference between gender, and I'm a guy obviously. So then like sometimes, well, it's very hard for me to be objective, and sometimes it might make me sound like a sexist. So in this case, I will try my best to be objective and try to analyze from both the side of guys and the girls. So the reason that got me to make this specific topic is because like recently I began to realize how rapid girls can start a relationship when they come to a new city. So it's like, let's say for example they go on an exchange somewhere for like let's say 2 or 3 months, and then like there's like a very great possibility that like after 2 or 3 months they found themselves a boyfriend. And like I'm not talking about like, well, it took them 2 or 3 months to start a relationship. It's usually the case is like they finish the whole thing like basically in the first 2 or 3 weeks. So it's like they found their guy in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then like whenever I hear this, I'll be like holy shit, how did you do this? Like, aren't you a bit too efficient? I mean, like for me, it might take me, I don't know, like a year, 2 years, or even longer to even find a right person. And you're telling me you started a relationship and deeply in love in what, 2, 3 weeks? That's, I mean, I'd say that's like a bit rapid for me. Okay, and then this made me think about like another of my hard situations that I'm experiencing very frequently here in Europe. So it's like every time when you meet like an interesting girl, and I'll be thinking, okay, well, we had a very good conversation, and maybe it's like, let's give it a try for a date or something. But then like at one certain point, you come to realize that she has a boyfriend. Like, so basically in the form of when she's talking about something, and then suddenly she mentioned, well, my boyfriend is blah, 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 blah. And then like at this specific moment, that's when I feel like, oh shit, fuck. Like really, it turns me off in like split second. And then like what I'm saying now is like I'm having like kind of a PTSD from it, because like now whenever I meet like a interesting girl, then like when I'm interested, and I'm keep on thinking about this one question: does she have a boyfriend? Does she potentially have a boyfriend? If she doesn't have now, is she gonna meet one tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next month, next week? And really, that's something that's just annoying for me, really. So this led me to this one conclusion, which is compared with guys, it's always easier for girls to start off a new life in a new city or even a new country because they're girls. Okay, I know this might sound a bit sexist, but this is not the conclusion that I came up with or exclusive to me. But then like if you look at some TV series and movies, I'm pretty sure you can also come up with the same conclusion. So for example, Emily in Paris. I'm pretty sure you guys all know this TV series. So think about this one question. Why is it called Emily in Paris instead of, let's say, Joe in Paris, John in Paris, Nick in Paris, or whatever the name of a guy? Because if you change the main role of the story to a guy, won't you think it's a bit weird? Like really, just change Emily to a guy and all the guys in the TV series to a girl. And what do you think? It's gonna be strange, right? So what I'm really interested in is why. Why is the case that like it's always easier for girls to find a guy in a new city instead of the other way around? So about this phenomenon, I would say, first of all, it's like a social norm historically in the development of human society for guys to go after girls. And well, if you take a look at some of the classical literatures, for example, The Sorrow of the Young Werther from Goethe, and also Lolita, they all depict stories of guys being driven crazy by girls. And but now you can also argue, well, this is not the fact because in the 17th or 18th century, girls have like a lower status, and then usually, well, they just take whatever they get, like whatever man that comes to her. But let's say now it's the 21st century, and after the development of feminism, feminism has significantly influenced the culture and society of the modern world. You can say like girls are way more independent and way more educated than before. So of course they have like let's say a more emancipated view on what guys they choose, and of course they have a wider freedom to choose, and they know like what they want. So this means like, well, they're not going to just take anyone that comes to them. They can choose, well, I can choose to accept you or to refuse you. So basically, if you combine these two factors together, you can almost say that like girls definitely enjoy an advantageous point when it comes to a relationship. So basically, they're like the more advantageous one in a relationship. So now basically we know that it's easier for a girl to find a guy in a new city. So this comes to the argument, why is it easier for girls to actually live in a new city? Well, so first of all, let's just examine the advantages of girls moving to a new city if they are certain that they can find a guy. So the first advantage, I would say, is the excitement. Okay, so it's like, you know you're going to go to a new place, and you know you're going to find like some kind of romantic relationship there. And I'm pretty sure that's something very excitement, without a doubt. And with this excitement, it brings you what you call the certainty. So before you go, you are certain that you are going to meet someone there. So of course, it makes you a bit reassured, right? Like at least you know you're not going to be alone, you're not going to feel boring. So this comes to the third point, which is security. So I know this might sound a bit hard to understand, but really, like, if you know you're gonna go to a new city, you know you're not gonna get alone, you know you're gonna find someone, and does it somehow make you feel a bit secured when you're in the new city? Because then, like, just think about it. If you're in the city for like 1 month and you're completely alone, you will feel a bit unease, right? So of course, are there disadvantages for girls moving to a new city with a lot of guys after her? Yes, of course, harassment. And I'm not trying to downplay how annoying harassment is, because I fully understand after I talk to a lot of female friends of mine, and really harassment can be something annoying. It's a pain in the ass. Like really, it lowers the quality of your life. It makes you feel disturbed every day. But then like really, but think about this thing. So in order for you to, isolate yourself completely from harassment, so would you prefer this? So let's say if you go on Tinder, you swipe left for like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, and then you end up getting no matches, no likes. And if you go on the street, nobody actually pays attention to you. If you go to like a social event, nobody shows interest in you, nobody comes to you, nobody tries to talk to you. And basically like all these signs, they're indicating that like nobody thinks you're even attractive enough for them to come to you, to make a move on you. And I'm pretty sure as a girl you wouldn't like this, right? So what I want to say is, like, even though harassment is annoying, it's very disturbing, but then like it's something, but then like there's at least if you look at it this way, from the sense of attractiveness, it's at least not that bad. So of course, like now you might ask me once again, why are you making such a big deal out of it? Why are you sounding like a sexist? Well, I just want to explain that like the three things I just mentioned about the advantages of girls moving to a new city: excitement, security, certainty. These three things are the things that I personally really value. I cherish a lot, because like I often hear like girls telling me, it's like, oh, it's like if you're single and you move to a new city, it's always the best situation, because then like you're at like the most open-minded stage. You're like open for everything. Anything could happen, you can just accept it. But then like every time when I hear this, like I was thinking, well, if I'm certain really that like if I go there, I'm definitely gonna meet someone, then sure, yeah, of course, I can be really open-minded. I can be really optimistic. But then like you see, the thing is like the reason why you can actually make this assumption as a girl is because like if you know very well that if you go to a new city, of course some guy will come to you. You're definitely gonna meet someone. Something's definitely gonna happen, and yes, so you have this confidence. But me, like really, for guys, that's not exactly the case. If you go to a new place, you never know if you're gonna find someone. You don't even know if you're gonna get like stuck completely alone, especially if there's like a confinement, quarantine, shit, or like any hard situations. You never know. Now, of course, you can say that like you should just forget about love, relationship, girls, whatever. And believe me, I really wish I could. But the thing is, loneliness is indeed a big problem for me, especially for me as someone who grew up in a multicultural background. Because like the thing about growing up in a multicultural background is like the advantage is, of course, you can mix yourself into any society in the world, anywhere in the world. It's not a problem. It's very easy. But the other, like the disadvantage of which is you are not a typical person of any culture. So in this case, like wherever you go, no matter how open-minded you are, how many people you meet, how great you enjoy your life there, you will always be somewhat of a foreigner. Like even if it's in your own country, even if it's back Shanghai for me, I would also feel like a foreigner. So for me, like to be recognized, acknowledged, loved, and cared by someone, that's something that really matters for me, and especially since now I'm in Europe, in Germany, in France. That's like this kind of desire or this kind of demand, it has been magnified because I'm in a different place. And so for me, I've always tried to reach out, try to search, but in the end, it's just very tiring. It's like it's exhausting mentally. It's exhausting. Yeah, well, in general, it's meant. Yeah, it's like the mental exhaustion. So like for me, I would often think about this. Okay, so if one day I could just like sit there, don't do anything, and then like maybe a relationship will fall upon me, that would be really nice. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet, and I'm really not certain if it's ever gonna happen. So then like for me, I always assume that like maybe I have to keep reaching out, keep being the one to make the first move, to to make all the efforts. But really, it's exhausting, and at one point I'm just tired of this kind of life, and I just really wish like something could just change. So that's it for today's video, and I will try to make more videos about my everyday life here in Nice instead of like only talking about this and that. But it will also be really great if you can leave a comment or private message or something to tell me something that you are interested in hearing me talking about, and I would really love to like make a video about this kind of topics. So yeah, well, thank you. Well, in the end, I want to say thank you very much for spending this time to listen to me bullshitting, and hopefully we'll see each other next time. Ciao.